Welcome to the Real Estate Peacock channel, where I teach you everything you need to know about wholesaling real estate. Man, am I excited for you guys to watch today's episode. In today's episode, I interview Frank. Frank is a member of my advanced mentorship program, and after 3 months of joining the program, he just closed a $55,000 deal. From day one, Frank has been one of the hardest workers in the group. No excuses, just hard work. And these are the type of people that I love to see come out on top. It brings me so much fulfillment to know that I had a little bit of a contribution to Frank making an amount of money that some people take a whole year to make. So guys, I hope you enjoy this episode. And if you are interested in joining my mentorship program, the link is in the description below. We can schedule a one-on-one call and see how I can help you in your wholesaling journey. Now let's get to the interview.
Okay.
Frank, congratulations first on the $54,000 deal. I feel like you are a celebrity in our group right now. I know you got a bunch of congratulations and all that stuff. We've showered you with love, man. I feel like you're the rock star of the group. So I wanted to start by saying congratulations, first of all.
Oh man, I appreciate it very much. So
Absolutely, man. So I want to start off. I want to lay some context. I want to lay some groundwork so people can understand kind of your background, where you started in real estate. Was it wholesaling? Was it this? If you can just give us a rundown, give us some kind of context of your real estate background, how you got started, how long you've been doing it.
it's probably 2 years I've been in real estate. Uh, I had a little interest in getting my license and read a few books. Took the test once or twice, and then but through the whole time that I was doing that, I also found interest in wholesaling, and it was introduced to me. But the concept, it took a little while for to actually get that down, to understand really what it was about. Um, the analysis paralysis, I guess, you kind of just
Yeah.
float in there, kind of thing.
Okay. So
But
you were, I didn't know are you a licensed realtor now, or you were?
no, I started about 15 years ago. I've been in the electrical industry. Uh, been wiring houses for a long time,
Okay.
and then I got my journeyman's, and then I got my master license, and then I went and worked for myself independently for 4 years, and after that I just accumulated a little bit, and then I started using all that capital to buy real estate, and then also to try to get more properties off market and at a discount, at a better price. This strategy that we talk about, that we do, it really helps you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Nice.
only you keep it for yourself, but not only you pass that property on to somebody else. You cherry pick the ones you really you want. And so that's what I do.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. So you've before like joining the group and our concept and stuff, which we can get into in a little bit, you tried kind of the wholesaling, you tried marketing. I believe you said you used to do cold calling. Can you take me through that? Like the trying to find deals, trying to find leads when you were cold calling, or if you tried anything else. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I had followed a few people on social media. I met a guy in my local market that he had put together a small course to show you how to break down the data onto excuse me, onto your Excel sheet, to where you could load it into the dollar, and that whole background on how you can get it all set up to be able to make calls
Mm-hmm.
accurately and efficiently and in a time frame. So I did that for a while, and then after that, I did postcards, and I've done bandit signs.
Mm.
And
Okay, so
so
you've done a good bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have. I saw a little bit of success from it, but also I didn't, and I wanted to do something different, um, to be able to uh, achieve more, to do more.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Which I'm curious. I'm very curious. Out of the three, you said you did postcards, bandits, and cold calling. Which gave you the most success kind of out of those three?
um, it was probably in that order. It would be cold calling, postcards, and then bandit signs. I've got a few deals from bandit signs, but not as much as I thought that I would.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. So you have some type of, or you already had a baseline, some type of knowledge of the wholesaling, marketing, all that. You also tried, three different things, but you were kind of looking for something else as far as marketing. Is that right?
Yes, I totally the getting hung up on. Call me later. Call me in a couple of months. That whole song and dance thing is
Yeah.
just I didn't really see much from it. Would I go back to cold calling? Maybe hand dialing a few that I know that yeah, follow ups, things like that. I've got a few properties that I want to keep my eye on, kind of
Mhm.
thing. But to actually uh, have the dollar going and pulling all that data and everything, I don't think that I would go back that far with it.
Yeah, yeah. And the good thing is you're just adding, tools to your toolbox, right? You've now done with our strategy, you've done four different strategies, right? Which is awesome. So you can jump, you can do whatever you like. You're just adding stuff. I love the way we add stuff to the toolbox as wholesalers, right? So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm always curious. So moving on to finding our group and all that stuff. I'm always curious
Yeah.
of why people chose to take like my course or why people chose to learn from me. Can you tell me or give me some type of context why you chose you literally jumped in like the first day. Why? Can you tell us why?
Yes, I have. There's uh, a lot of, I would say a lot. There's a good bit of people out there that are pushing wholesale, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of them that just push a course, push a program, knowing the ratio of people that are actually going to do it and stick with it, and make something from it. But when I saw your content and followed it for a good little while, and then you talked about the course uh, coming out, and then it finally did come out, and when it did is when I bought it. This within it was on a I think it was on a Thursday, and then a Friday it dropped, and then the weekend, and I bought it on the weekend. But uh, professionalism, being straightforward about everything. Everything is it's easy to understand. Uh, if you just follow the teaching of it and just stick with it, there's going to be some things you're not going to be quite sure of. Um, Maybe you need to go back and then review and then move forward. It's good content. I really liked it, really enjoyed it, and
Awesome.
I still go back. Even though it's been a few months since I've watched it, I still go back just to pull certain areas from the course just to review. I may not go back through the whole course, but I'll go
Mhm.
back and I'll look at some things.
Absolutely, man. And that's why I kind of built it that way is for reference. Like it's evergreen. So if you get stuck in this part, right, in the field where it's going on the appointment, I'm like, oh man, what do I do when I go on the appointment? You reference this chapter, right? It's really like a whole, reference point for you along the actual journey. So that's always good to hear, man. I truly appreciate it. And I think everybody in our group knows how hard you work and you've been working since you've been here. You've sent out many, mailers, you've sent out a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff. You're taking action, man. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people hop in and they just don't take the action. But I mean, that's not an issue at all for you. So I'm very happy to have you, man. Very happy.
Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate it. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about this monster deal, right? You talk, but first of all, do you call it a 54,000 or a 55,000?
I call it 55.
There you
I
go.
call it 55. Hey,
We'll rock with that.
yes, because we turned in the paperwork. There was a $250 deposit on the property when I turned everything in, and then once we did a double close on it, the buyer on the B2C, he paid the closing costs, but then when we did the A to B, I had some closing costs. So it took that a deposit, and it took a little bit other money. But
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I
big
would
deal.
I would agree. Let's say 55. So on the $55,000 deal,
Yeah.
I want you to kind of walk us through from start to finish. You don't have to do the whole thing. We can stop and kind of break down specific areas
Okay.
because
Okay.
this wasn't a this wasn't a typical assignment, right? This was a double close. And you and I kind of went back and forth and we did the MLS route and all that, which we can break that down as well. But I want to start at the beginning. This lead came in, obviously, from our letter of intent. Uh, what was the conversation like when lead came in? What was kind of that first initial conversation?
Yeah, the gentleman gave me a call. He reached out to me. He told me they had a property that he had recently moved out of. Has been vacant for a few months, not long at all. And he said that he came by the property to check on it, checking everything. The utilities were still on, checked the mail. And when he checked the mail, he received a letter of purchase. And gave me a call, started talking about the property. It wasn't something that he could see that it could be sold to a traditional buyer. Even though we did put it on market, we found an investor that did pick it up and is going to do the recommended renovations to the property.
Okay. So when he called, um, did you schedule appointment right away? Did you have a price in mind? By the way, what was the price that was on the letter?
The price on the letter was around 130,000.
130. So he was interested at that price point?
He was interested at that price point, but he knew that the property did need a lot of work, and that he wasn't going to be able to get that amount for it.
Hmm.
When I offered him the 90,000 for purchase on the property, uh, he was actually a little ecstatic because he thought that that was more than what he was going to get for the property, because the way he seemed talking to him and everything, it was going to be, he thought he was going to get much less than that.
Hmm.
So I felt like helping the seller at that, and he was happy
Hmm.
with that price, and with it, letting him know that there's a possibility that we would put the property on open market on the MLS. He
Hmm.
was okay with it and everything.
Nice. And that's a perfect scenario when you always get that seller that's just okay with the situation and they're okay with it because you're up front with them first, right?
Yeah,
And just to circle back, you said we went from 130 to 90. Did you walk the property first before coming down on price to 90,000
I
or
did. I
okay.
did.
So I did
Uh,
want to okay, go through that process when you walk the property.
I had called him. I think no, he had called me. We talked about the property, but I had called him the following week because it was close to a week later that he was coming. He was going to come back to the property. Um, Showed up, talked to him. We went inside. He showed me some parts of the house that needed the most work, and then the rest that didn't. Walked it real good. Um, the roof was in pretty good condition. The heating and air was 5 years, and the tankless water heater that was mounted on the outside, it was 5 years old. So other than that, the inside, putting it back together, was pretty much what it needed. But there was a severe leak on the one side of the property, to where it had damaged the interior of the bathroom, and then it damaged the subfloor, and then it damaged the downstairs utility. And so that was where most of the money and the renovation cost is going to be. But I walked it pretty good, walked it good. And then I talked to him. I told him, I see where, things are going to need to be spent. And then I felt like the reasonable price would be 90,000.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and that's where I wanted to hit, because he had a severe leak, like you said, from, was it two? It was a two-story house.
On one side of the property, it had an upstairs bedroom and bathroom that connected to the main living. And
Okay.
then that portion on the top where the roof was real bad, it came in. It took a while due to financial being able to replace the roof. And once he did replace the roof, he didn't have the money to renovate the interior from the damage of the roof. And so
Gotcha.
that's for that.
Understood. Yeah. So that you had reason to come down from 130.
Yes,
That's
there was
okay.
so much stuff too.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that there was a lot of stuff up there. It'd been years since that bedroom and bathroom had ever been used,
Mm,
and old furniture, just trash, a lot of clean out up there in that area.
okay. Gotcha. Nice. So you make the offer for 90 and he accepts right away. Does he accept right away, or did it take some
Yeah,
time?
he was pretty cool about it. I mean,
Okay.
there was really no pushback on, can we get a little bit more? Uh, he was happy with 90. I felt, he didn't. He was happy with 90. He thought he was going to get less. Thought I was going to walk the property and be like, there's no way uh, that we could do anything substantially high. But 90 was reachable because, even though my letter of intent was 130, I don't want to be like, I'll give you 130 or 120 and not be able to do anything with the property. Nobody really wants to pick it up and to make, a profit from, this encounter.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is kind of where that in important part is, because now we know that you went the exit strategy of listing on market. In order
Yeah.
for us to do that, we have to sign a different contract, right? That gives
Yeah.
us the right to list on market versus the contract that we would just sign for the assignment contract. Is this when you reached out and you were like, hey, what do you think about the contract for the MLS route? Is this when you reached out?
Yes, I had our weekly calls. This was after our weekly call and needed to get some more input on. So within the Facebook group community, I had messaged a few times just so I can get an understanding on what it is, what we're doing, just so it gets done right. And
Yeah,
so the process of putting it on market was fairly easy, but yet uh, there's some things you have to fill out and then submit. And, once you do that, they make, kick something back to you to either correct or give us some more detail, things of that nature. But once it gets submitted and within, 24 to 48 hours, you'll get a confirmation. And then after that, it'll go live. And then once it goes live, then the phone starts ringing, and then you just make the appointments and work those leads as they come in.
absolutely. Yeah. And this is like we spoke, like this is one of my favorite exit strategies, right? Because this exit, instead of an assignment and we making, a good 10 grand a pop, whatever, when you go on market, you list that property, that deal has exposure to the entire MLS. Now you have thousands of eyes on the deal. So our profit margin increases drastically, right? Because we have
Yeah.
exposure to investor buyers, retail buyers, pretty much everybody, because everybody's on market, right? So that's why I love that exit. As far as the contract that's different, the one thing that's in that contract that's different is our pre-marketing clause, right? That gives us basically attorney in fact and permission to list it on MLS.
Yeah.
We then get
Mhm.
that signed and we go to a flat fee listing service. We pay them 125, 150 bucks to list our property.
Yeah.
But in exchange for that, we have to handle all communication with
Yeah.
realtors, disclosures, all that
Mhm.
stuff, right? Which is fine for
Mhm.
us, like that's not a big deal,
Yeah.
right? So tell me about the experience. Okay, it goes live, right? Goes
Yeah.
live. I know it went really fast. You had a bunch of interest. Tell me kind of about that experience after it went live.
It was on a Thursday. It went live, and just several calls interested in it because within that area, um, the property was on market and it was significantly less than all the ARV on market properties,
Hmm.
and it got the attention of all the locals. Uh, a good, in your description, we're selling the property as is. It needs work, but there's some high points on, the HVAC system. The roof's in pretty good, under, I think it was 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old on the roof. So there's still life left there. Water heater's in real good shape. Pulled out all the old carpet, original hardwood floors underneath it. So, sand it, re-polyurethane, clean that up. Uh, there's a lot of potential in the property. And
Hmm.
so that was on Thursday. So I scheduled all for Friday, worked the whole property all day Friday, had 7 showings with agents and their clients. Um, Wonderful. And the kicker is I had a guy call Saturday, wasn't able to come out and look at it Saturday. Sunday, he came out and he bought it. Uh,
Mm.
Sold the property for 145.
Mm.
So yeah, so he got the property from the homeowner for 90,000. Sold the property to an investor on a Sunday for 145,000. The ARV in that area is 265 to 270. So 265 conservatively once it's done renovated.
Nice, man. So you listed on Thursday and you had the contract signed, sold on Sunday.
I did.
Now,
Yes, I
That's
did.
that's awesome, man. I mean, the fact that it happened that fast, and you said a really key point. You were listed well below what everything else on market was listed, right? So you
Yes,
had a bunch of eyes on that just because it's like, okay, man, at
man.
145, everything's what ARV 250 plus, all that stuff, and you're listed below of everything, and you got it 55 grand less than even that. So
Yeah,
my goodness, man, that is
that's
awesome.
what I. It was a wonderful deal. It was really smooth through the whole thing. And there's a lot of deals and a lot of properties that will come across your desk if you're in this industry uh, that that could be headache. There's a lot of work, a lot of footwork, a lot of back and forth on the phone, email, everything. But this deal, I guess way it happens, it was a smooth process.
Mhm.
They wanted to be done with the property. It sold fairly quick. Um, and then when we went to closing, uh, smooth on both parties. Had the buyer come in, then the seller come in, and everything just turned out good, man.
Mm.
Really happy about this
Man, that
deal.
that's awesome. Just because like 55 is obviously a home run deal, right? That's not typical, right?
Right.
And even I tell members like we should hit base hits, 5 grand a pop, five, maybe 10. But for you to do a $55,000 deal, pretty soon, pretty early in
Yeah.
whole process. You joined the group February of 23rd or 28th, and here we are, early June, and you close a $55,000 deal, man. Again,
Yeah.
congrats on that. How
Thank
does
you so
that
much.
how does
It
it
was
feel?
because of your course.
Oh man.
Your course and your teaching, it really sets people up to succeed if you just follow the program and everything. But also, uh, from a traditional wholesale deal to putting it on market deal is it's two different strategies, it's two different things, and I wouldn't for anybody to expect what the outcome of on market from original traditional off market, not on the MLS. You're not, I don't think that you'll get those types of results like that. Um, like you said, there's more eyes that look at the property once it's on the MLS, and there's more work to be involved to be able to move that property. But for the outcome, it's worth it, and it's not going to go smooth like that every time. But surely you're going to have some that do.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Well, again, it's awesome to see, the love that's coming your way, and obviously the fact that you've been able to do this, and it's just the beginning, right? Aren't you working? Are you working a few more?
I am. I've got a couple of properties. I got a townhouse, a 3-2, that I'm picking up for myself. I want to renovate it and rent it out and do the burst strategy. And I've got another property that's a 3-1 single level. It's got a little bit of foundation issues, got a little bit of paperwork with errors that need to be handled. But then that's a 4,000 deal that I'm working on closing. So
Nice.
I stay active. It's awesome to have a good win, but we got to keep moving forward to finishing out the year strong.
Absolutely, man. And I mean, you've been working harder than anybody since you started. So I'm just happy to work alongside with you, man. Like, thank you
Man,
for
likewise.
joining. We will continue to grind together and learn new things, learn new concepts. That's what our group is about. So,
Most
Frank,
definitely.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. You're the first interview of our group. So I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it,
I
man.
really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you have a good one. We're signing off, guys.